If you are the scary part is, the damage shows up as 5 very specific traits you carry right now. And the 5th trait, it's the one that shows just how powerful you became and how dangerous that power really is. And by the end of this, you'll never see yourself the same way again. Maybe you were 7 years old, watching a parent collapse, addiction, rage, or just that unbearable silence of someone completely checked out.
You don't get to know people slowly. You scan them, and you've been doing it so long, you forgot it was ever a survival skill. Here is the first trait. You read people instantly. You don't trust what people say. You watch what they do when they think no one is paying attention. The energy shift when certain topics come up, the micro-expression before the mask goes back on. You see it all, and most people find that unsettling because you see through them, not because you're suspicious, because at some point in your life, reading people wasn't a skill. It was survival. The second trait, you handle everything alone, even when you don't have to, even when help is right there, visible, available. You don't take it because relying on people was never consistent for you. So your mind made a quiet decision. Do it yourself. It's safer. And now that pattern is so deep, you don't even question it anymore. But here's what no one tells you about hyper-independence. The people who need no one end up with no one. Not by accident, by design. Your design. You built the wall, and somewhere behind it, there's still a child waiting for someone to ask if they're okay. The third trait, you are emotionally controlled. Not cold, controlled. You can feel everything, but you rarely show it. Because you learned early, showing too much gives people power over you. So instead of reacting, you pause, you observe, you calculate. And to others, that silence feels intimidating. But inside, you're carrying the weight of everything you've never said. A 2021 meta-analysis in developmental psychology reviewed over 40 studies on childhood adversity. The finding: individuals who experienced high adversity scored significantly higher in perceptual accuracy and leadership capacity in adulthood. Read that again. Your suffering was not wasted, it was converted. But conversion has a cost. The same detachment that protects you isolates you. The same awareness that reads every room, reads every person as a potential threat. The same control that commands respect makes intimacy feel like a trap. The fourth trait, you don't feel safe even in calm rooms. Happiness feels like a setup. Peace feels suspicious. Good moments feel like the quiet before something breaks, because your nervous system was trained on chaos, and when dysfunction is normalized early, the brain accepts chaos as baseline. Stillness feels wrong. Love feels like a debt you'll have to repay. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The mind trained for war struggles deeply with peace." You were trained for war, and peacetime feels dangerous to you. That is the true cost of growing up too fast. Not just lost time, a nervous system that doesn't know how to stop fighting. The fifth trait, you feel like a ghost in your own life, in conversations, in groups, even around people you've known for years. You're there, but not fully part of it, because while everyone else is talking, you're observing, analyzing, noticing the things they don't realize they're revealing. You're operating on a frequency most people never had to access. And as Robert Greene wrote, power belongs to those who understand human nature better than others. You understand it because you had no choice but to. But understanding everyone else came at a price. You lost the ability to understand yourself. The final trait, you don't react the way people expect. Situations that overwhelm others, you stay calm, not because you're fearless, but because you've already been through chaos that made this look small. When you've survived enough of it, Normal problems stop feeling like threats. You become unshakable in emergencies and completely lost in ordinary moments. Because ordinary was never safe for you. You never had a childhood, but you still have a future. Now here is what nobody tells you after all of this. These aren't personality traits. They are coping strategies. Learned, conditioned, and the good news, unlearnable. But only when you stop idolizing your strength and start honoring your wounds. Because you've spent your entire adult life performing the version of you that survived, overachieving to earn love, staying silent to avoid abandonment, taking care of everyone, while quietly, desperately wishing someone would just notice that you're not as strong as you pretend to be. That fantasy that someone will finally see you falling apart and choose to hold you anyway, that is not weakness. That is the unmet need of a child who never got to be a child. The first step to healing isn't fixing, it's witnessing, going back to that small person who disappeared and saying what no one ever said to them. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You get to rest now, because no one's coming to rescue the child you buried. You are the one who has to go back and hold their hand. That is brutal work. It asks you to feel the grief you never had time to feel, the rage, the sorrow, the unmet needs, to mourn the innocence you spent protecting people who should have protected you. But that grief is not weakness. It is proof that something frozen is finally thawing. So if you recognized yourself in this, stop asking, why am I like this? And start understanding. This is exactly why I see the world differently. You were forged in conditions most people were shielded from. You survived what was supposed to stop you. Now comes the harder part. Not just enduring, living. The war is over. Walk out of the trenches, and this time, you get to write it.